I'm going to be showing you my most recent sketchbook. And when I say most recent sketchbook, I mean I've been working in this thing for a long time, since 2023, last year, probably like August 23. So it's been well over a year at this point that I've worked on this thing. And this is going to be the first sketchbook that I show premiere on this channel that I haven't even finished. And the reason I am just going to go ahead and call it finished is something that I will reveal in a bit. But I want to move on from this 10th sketchbook, move on to something different. Okay, so the sketchbook itself was from Jazza Studios and Spectrum Noir. This came out of a box of his that I purchased sometime last year. So the most recent thing I've been drawing a lot is dragons. I draw and paint a lot of dragons, and this is just I wanted something to represent the entire sketchbook, and I figured a nice dragon picture would do well. I actually turned this one into a painting eventually. The painting is here, right here. And I changed the form up quite a bit. I changed him more into a water dragon. And my least favorite part is his hair, his wisps of hair coming off of him. But I do like his face and his body. I like the way he turned out. And moving right along. I am a large Zelda fan, big Zelda fan. I've played Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, and I've taken the time to go back and play a lot of the older games too. I like it. Some good old sketches. At the time, throughout this entire sketchbook, pretty much mythical creatures, dragons, things of that nature, and faces. Faces was a big thing I wanted to work on. Posing not so much, but more so like the actual face. And you can see that throughout here. And at this point of the sketchbook, I'm just trying to throw everything at it to see what kind of sticks, see how well the materials work with the paper. This is marker. Yeah, I wanted to see if it bled through, and it does bleed through the alcohol-based marker, but it does look good. And just trying different materials to see what kind of works with it. And eventually what I landed on at the end of it was just to leave this as unfinished sketches because of how much bleed goes through with the alcohol-based markers. Just again, trying to figure out what do I want to do with this sketchbook. This was a preliminary sketch for another painting I did. This one's quite big, actually. This one's very big. I did it on a piece of plywood. This is very big. And I actually got Sean to sign it, which is really cool, the voice actor for Goku. I met him at a Comic-Con and had him sign it. But I actually did this painting because both of these guys were going to be here at the Comic-Con, but man, I can't remember his name. But he backed out last minute, so I wanted to do a fusion of the two. And that ended up being the sketch. This is the painting, and obviously that ended up being... That was the preliminary sketch, the idea, the concept, art. I was actually buying up all of these Zelda books and sketching out of those. And as a matter of fact, I have them all, I think. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I've got most of the books. Let's see. I don't know if there's this is all of them. But the ones that Dark Horse makes. The Historia, Creating a Champion, the one specifically for Breath of the Wild, the Art and Artifacts book, and the Encyclopedia. Wow, they are dusty. Yep, like these in here, there's some really good pieces in here. Some really, really good pieces of art in here. But of course, this book isn't about, or this... This video is not about this book, but I wanted to take a time to show you where I'm getting a lot of my inspiration, and sometimes I'm just copying the art itself, just using this as reference. It's super duper nice. It's very, very good. I use this as reference for a painting. It's just, yeah, it's really good. super duper awesome. Oh, you saw it, huh? I saw it. Did you see it? There it is. Literally, I copied that. I liked it so much, I just copied it. Another thing that I used out of the book, the exact same book. It's a good old Danny Phantom fan art. My son is obsessed with Spider-Man, and I have to have at least one Spider-Man drawing in every single sketchbook. And so far, I have a Spider-Man drawing in every single sketchbook. So that guy, and then of course, Deadpool is a good compliment to Spidey. This ended up, I like this one a lot, and I tried to recreate that in the form of a watercolor painting, but I'm not going to show it because it turned out looking like ass, so I'm just not going to show it. Again, same thing. This guy here turned into a painting. Here's the preliminary sketch for the painting, and this ended up being my most recent painting. No, the water dragon is the most recent, but this guy here, I like this one a lot. And in fact, I haven't painted in a while, and I don't know why, aside from I'm just not inspired by anything, really. But to be honest, I haven't been drawing much either, just because I do this thing where I look on the internet a lot and compare my art to other people's, and my art just doesn't compare to other people's to the point where I just don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm good enough, and I just stop arting. And it's a toxic thing. I hate it. I hate that I do it, because I started making art in the first place because it was enjoyable. I wanted to show my appreciation for the things that I was consuming at the start. So I just, yeah. So it's been a while since I've made any kind of art, to be honest. And this is all stuff over the last 18 months, but in real life, it's been, most of this was done in 2013. This was when the game came out. The Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I was playing that pretty heavy. It was pretty neat, pretty neat. I was drawing Rauru a lot. I really like his character, to be honest. I like his character a lot. And I was actually I really like how this turned out, even though it was like just a sketch, like a quick little choo-choo-choo. I really like how suggestive it is. I like it a lot. Goku. Gohan, I mean. Did some studies. Just Sketch Me is the source that I used. And at this point, I was using this with the intention of just filling this thing up. So just using quick poses, really quick, like maybe 30 seconds. And here's some face practice. And I took my favorite ones and gave them some ink. This guy being especially my favorite, because he's my favorite. And then tried to do the same thing with animals, and it didn't quite turn out how I wanted it to. I wanted to do the same thing here, just some practice with faces and some poses here, some lips, some stuff I'm actually kind of bad at. Yeah, so I was following a character on YouTube, his shorts, where I was basically just following his example, and I was seeing some nice results from following his lead. But yeah, it's just faces are something that I have never really been good at, and I've never really put the time into, and so I wanted to get better. And at this point, I remember this is actually exactly a year ago from here. So here back is all been 2023 up until September of 23. So this was like beginning of 23, maybe even 20. I don't remember. I don't really remember, but This was a year ago. This exactly here. This as well. I really like this guy. I was thinking about turning him into a painting, but I didn't. Just doing some... Aha, see? You can see the date on there, December of 23. And so there was a pretty major gap of me just not drawing at all in here, and there. And I just didn't touch it for a long time, from September to December. And this thing's still not full, so... And then again, you can see a big gap of January, you know? So it's just from December to January. I didn't do any drawing at all, and I just didn't like the result. And this happens to me all too often, is I'll like have a month gap where I don't do anything, and I'll draw something that looks like crap, and I'll feel really bad about it, and I just won't touch it anymore. Or I'll try and draw something that's like fantastical, that like more of my comfort zone, something I'm more comfortable with, so that I'll kind of get over the crap that I produce, right? This, oh my God, this was based off of a book. I got this book, picked up a book based solely on its art from the dust cover, and I'm going to show you that right now because it's insane. Just look at the artwork on this dust cover. Look at it. Oh my goodness, it is so good. It's so good. And I ended up reading the entire book. Just, my goodness. It's so good. It's so good. The Priory of the Orange Tree. It was so good, actually. The book was good enough to warrant me buying the second book in the series. And I'm pretty sure it's a duology. Yeah, it's pretty good. This one is also good, but it's not as like contrasting and eye-popping as the first one. But I still like the dragon. And actually the artist, I found the artist on Instagram, and I started following him. Yeah, it's just so good. It's so very good. So a lot of my inspiration from my work, my artwork, comes from the media that I consume, obviously. And here's a little, what was that? March. See, again, with the giant leaps in January. That's 2 months almost. Where it's like I've drawn 3 things in 2 months. This spread, and then this spread in 2 months. I slowed down a lot. I just slowed down a lot, and it just, I don't know. I don't know. I think what happened is I started drinking alcohol a lot, and that just kind of took away my, it would substitute for my creative endeavors. I would just drink instead, but I have slowed that down. Let's see, look, another 2-month gap between this one and this one. So it's, I don't know. I started to feel really bad about this, so I slowed down the drinking a lot. And then look again, May to June. It's just, and then it's just doing silly shit. So, and then I actually started a challenge from NerdForge, and I wanted to do a 100-hour drawing challenge where I practiced perspective and different types of things using. And then they basically created an entire course inside of their video, and wanted you to start with no references, no nothing, just draw to your best of your ability, a table, or look, a coffee mug, a book on a table, a house, and a donut. And then the idea is to do this as the baseline, draw for 100 hours, and then come back and revisit all of this and draw it all over again. And I got... and this was like kind of my last ditch effort to get myself to draw again inside of this sketchbook, because I don't know, my inspiration has just been failing, I haven't been inspired to do much of anything. This is kind of my last little leg of doing that. And so basically I put an hour into these 2 spreads, like yeah, doing perspective here, right? So I did 1 point perspective and learned how to do that. And then day 2 was shading, right? And so I played Red Dead. So Arthur got a place in the sketchbook, which is super nice. And then there's some more perspective, 1 point perspective for this was day 3 maybe. And then look, you can see there's a 2-week gap, July 14th, July 28th, and exactly a 2-week gap. But yeah, this is some perspective, and I really ended up liking these two guys. And I don't know why I stopped, to be honest. I don't know why. But this is where I stopped. I just haven't really felt the desire to pick the sketchbook back up. I've been kind of bored, and I've been kind of wanting to move on from this sketchbook. Yeah, I just kind of bored of it, to be honest. But I don't really know what to do next in terms of my artistic ability or my artistic endeavors, I suppose. I don't know. I'm just not really super into it right now. So, where do I go from here? Where do I... what do I do now that I've pretty much decided that I'm done with the rinse and repeat of sketchbooks. So, fill a sketchbook, record the footage of the drawings that I did in there, grab a new sketchbook, rinse and repeat the cycle. I'm pretty much done with that. I don't really want to do that anymore. With this YouTube channel, I've slowly but surely petered out all types of content other than recording what it is that I'm doing in my sketchbook. That's kind of the only reason I'm holding on to the studio. Not the studio, but the art channel itself. So what does this mean for the channel if I'm not doing this anymore? I don't know. I'm not really doing much art. I feel kind of burnt out, to be honest. I feel kind of, I feel like this has run its course. All of the paintings and the drawings and the sketchbooks I feel like that has come to a natural close, and I feel like I'm done with it right now. I might return to it eventually, but right now I'm not really doing any kind of art. The simple fact of the matter is that I am just reprioritizing my life and the things that go on in it. I have a certain amount of brain power that I can use per day, and most of that gets used in school and taking care of household things and hanging out with my kids. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, and that's where I want to remain, is focusing on school, getting this degree, and then get a big boy job so that I can make more money. We can buy a house, and we can just kind of go up in our lives. And honestly, this channel's just taken a back burner. So it's going to remain in the back burner until further notice, I suppose. So that's the update. That's where we are for now. So it's I might post here and there, but who knows? Who cares, I guess. So I'm actually going to get out of here for now and talk to you on the next one, if there is a next one.